way too frequently about these active shooters. And that's why One Upstate Group says training for these events is needed now more than ever. Fox Carolina's Shell Ramin in studio with me tonight. She spoke with a proactive response group. So Shell, what are they telling you?
Well, Cody, just like churches, companies, and schools do tornado drills, Proactive Response Group says it's imperative active shooter drills are treated no differently. The Anderson County Sheriff says the plant did active shooter training just 1 year ago, and they believe it likely saved lives last night.
I actually read it this morning when I woke up. I always read the news first thing, and unfortunately I read it for work because I know that there's a really good chance that there was an active shooter event anytime I go to sleep and wake up in the morning.
Debriefing on mass shootings is now part of Andy Sexton's morning routine.
I've grown to expect to see it across the country, and what really hurts us is that we keep seeing these closer to home for us, and recently within the last 2 weeks, 2 of them very close to home for us.
We saw panic surround this Anderson County manufacturing plant after a gunman opened fire, shooting 2 people.
We actually did active shooter training for this facility probably about a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago.
Sheriff Chad McBride says the training possibly contributed to more survivors.
That could have saved some lives. We'd like to think that is probably the case.
Even though it's hard to think about, training for mass shootings is all but necessary nowadays.
The risk of this is low. It won't happen here. We're a close, tight-knit group of people. But what we see is if we go back and look at the interviews done with the people that were there when it happens, they weren't expecting it to happen that day either.
Instead, Proactive Response Group gives you the tools to fight back.
And in order for you to survive, you have to fight. Getting your hands on the gun is going to give you a great chance of doing that.
They say don't be a sitting duck, throw any sort of item at the shooter, and there's power in numbers.
And if you're face to face with that shooter and your survival depends on it, and you start using physical force to defend your life, others will jump in and help you. Having training gives you the best chance to make a decision, and make a decision that leads to your survival.
And with ongoing violence happening all across our nation, Proactive Response says it's a good idea to sign up for a class so you can have a plan personally. They say it also makes employees feel like you're investing in their safety. Cody.